Okay.
Okay, I
And
think
Mani, I'll make you a co-host. No, I'm not able to make you co-host.
Mhm.
Anyway, let's continue then.
Yeah, Dinesh, Anil Saxena is saying they're not able to,
Yeah,
they're not admitted.
yeah, I have to admit them from here because I'm
I
not
see.
able to make this. Where is he should show up in participants.
Right.
Oh, they are in the waiting room. Okay. Oh,
Yeah,
oh. All
Piyush,
right.
all right. So one of the
Welcome.
things,
Yeah,
welcome.
welcome everyone. And now turning over to Mani.
Thank you. There is a concept of Dvitiya Vigna. Dvitiya Vigna is like when the second week we start, there is typically some challenge will come up. And that is what I've seen. Today we are showing up on the seventh or fifth day. We are getting into some technology challenges today with respect to how we are coming in. Welcome all of you. And we wanted to take 1 minute to tell you something which is like a beautiful sharing that I wanted to start with. Yesterday, just like the Kanpur Parivartan habit thing, in San Jose, Dinesh had a session with the Crack the Wellness group, and there we are introducing the same habit program. And one of the questions that came up was that can you share some people who are going through this journey? How was it? So immediately one of the things I came up was, I don't know how many of you saw in last week's session. Ankit ji and Mrs. Sharma ji, they both sang a beautiful song. And we were having a ball of a time yesterday. That is what I remembered. And I wanted to share that, but I normally take permission from each other person before sharing it. I just wanted to check in with you. Were you able to see that video and recording? Because if not, I would highly encourage watching last week's session. Piyush, we can't hear you.
No, I haven't seen it, but I will do that now. I'm encouraged. I'm
Lovely.
curious now, in fact. So I'm going to do right after we end today. And I see Ankit smiling. So I guess there is something to it which inspires me to.
Please. Yeah. So in terms of today's session, Anilji, welcome, and Anil Gupta ji, and as well as Anil Saxena ji. So today's session is very straightforward. It is going to be totally about you. There is no new content we are going to introduce because of, for simple reason, this is a point where we have taken in our habit, we have tweaked it to our desire or satisfaction or our practical considerations. And also, some of us are traveling, some of us are going to be, figuring out how it is. Dinesh, you need to let me share the screen. So, if it
Sure.
is possible, figure that out.
Sure.
But primarily, as Dinesh is working through, the focus is on each one of us. How are we doing with this habit? Because this is a beautiful time. We want to checkpoint on two or three things. Number one, do we all have a habit that we can commit to for the rest of the 12 weeks journey? If it is, because to me it takes 1 or 2 3 weeks to settle down on the habit, and the tips and tricks is the present is a way for us to explore how we can try that out and make it our own, and what are the challenges that comes up in our way. And that is one of the reasons that we use this fifth week as a way for us to checkpoint. Let me see if Dinesh, whenever you are ready, let me know. I will share the screen.
Okay.
But otherwise, the primary focus is on how is it going. This is what I call a check-in week. So the question I will share with you, I'll put it in the chat um, for all of us to look at. Let me put it in the chat so that you can also see it. Let me put the questions also. So, oops, I think it's showing up as an image. Give me 1 second. Sometimes the technology is more smarter than us. Yeah, so the questions we are looking at is, this is going to be, I'll ask each one of us to take your own time, reflect on these 3 questions primarily, which is adding up to a larger question of how is it going? That's all we are looking at today, right? How is each of our habit going? What is holding us back? Are we aware of what is holding us back? And if so, what have we tried? What from the tips and tricks, what have we spent in terms of tweaking the habits aspects to make it our own? Because this is a shared forum, each one of us can help each other. For example, if I've seen in the past, let's say Piyush has a challenge and Ankit ji has tried something, they may be able to indirectly help each other. It is not a conscious way of supporting each other where you tell, you have your own challenges, but you are telling other person how to do things better. That is not how we want. What we want is a heart to heart space. Each one of us share about our own self, what is working well, what is not working well, right? Both of them are welcome. And by the way, this is a safe space. So we want to make sure that each one of us feel comfortable in sharing with each other what is working for us, because not all the time everything will work for us. That's okay. And sometimes if it is not working, we can also learn from others what is working for them. Maybe we can try that, right? So that is how we are going to exchange. Anybody can start, and I will, if you want, I can go first also. But primarily, the way in which I look at it is, uh, I immediately look at my, this is my easiest way. Yesterday I didn't walk, so obviously something didn't work. But generally I'm in the green zone, right? For me, the easiest way to articulate that is, there is a change of weather that's coming in where I am. Spring is here, and with uh, the challenges of solar eclipse and other things that was happening here, there was some change, energy shift that is happening, and that is what I am watching. Sometimes because of that, I'm able to open and do things better. Sometimes as I'm watching, I'm also lagging behind. Both are I'm open to. As long as you are conscious, as long as you're aware, then you can change something about it, right? And that is where we are using awareness, not as willpower to plow through, which is sometimes you can do. Sometimes I use my willpower to push the red into orange. But for orange into green, I want it to be a smooth flow for me. And that is where I am. So let me just see. Dinesh is still having challenges with the PowerPoint, but that's okay. We don't need PowerPoint today, primarily because the questions that we are going to look at, welcome Prashantji, the questions that we are looking at, if you have not seen it, I put it in the chat. What is holding us back, and how are we doing overall in the last 3-4 weeks? If you can start off, that'll be super. Let's take our own time and share what works for us. If you have any comments, please, let me know. Anybody can start. Yeah, go ahead,
Yeah.
Prashantji.
See, as you said, very well said that it differs from person to person, circumstances to circumstances, and the subconsciousness and the consciousness. See, if you are consciously aware of and if you are consciously making an effort to do something, I think you will be able to do that. But depending on the each person's circumstances, okay. So I've been able to do it. If I am taking a 1 day, 2 day off, which I'm doing generally because I wanted to do it, that's fine, no problem. Today, my aim was that I will start sleeping at 10 o'clock. Even if I go by 10:30, it's fine for me. It's nothing. It's not a great deal. So I'm able to do it for like 5 days, 4 days. I'm doing it. For weekend, generally I've been working. So I take 1 day off and I want to enjoy life also. So I will go back to like 11:30 and all that. But in then, what happens actually if you're doing it 5 days in a week? So your clock, your body clock start behaving that way only. So even if you sleep by 10, 11:30 or below, you will wake up at the same time in the morning where generally you wake up. So I've studied also a lot, and I mean, I've experienced on my you also. My feeling is this: that fine, we have to help each other and we have to learn from each other, and everybody's circumstances are different from each other. But as you very well said, the consciousness, if you conscious about to do something, I think you will be able to do that. That's my
Beautiful.
take out.
Beautiful. I want you to add one more thing, Prasantji, if I can push you a little bit.
हाँ बताइए. No problem.
See, one is see, there is a three elements. One is the theory side of it, one is the practical side of it, as well as what are the challenges, how we can move forward, what they call Kaizen or continuous improvement. You beautifully said 7 days in a week, I'm able to do it. I'm also enjoying the weekend by staying up late. If you
Yeah.
have to push your habit one more notch, one more thing, what would you do as the next step for you? What are you looking forward to?
See, my idea was to go to early bed, that so that I can wake up in the morning. And in the morning session is very, very, very important thing which I have been reading. I do three things. I do meditation. I do a prayer to my God, and I do practice on my singing. There are
Lovely.
three very vital things which I'm not able to do it in the evening. I was trying to, because in the evening you get tired and then you're not able to do that. So morning time is something which you want to pursue any habits, any ambition, any passion, whatever you feel. You're more energetic in the morning to do that. That's my takeout. So do it in the morning. The morning you have a lot more energy, more thing. And if you wake up in the morning, it's a very good feeling. Very good
Love,
thing, which you can't
love,
get in the night.
lovely.
Yeah.
Dinesh, anything you want to add to Prashant's comment?
Uh, well, I was just thinking about when I'm not able to do. So generally, I don't mind skipping one day a week. I think that gives a break. And what I found is that you have to create conditions for change. And what do I mean by conditions for change? If, for example, if you live in a place where everybody goes to sleep at 10 o'clock, I don't think you have to put any extra effort. Then, the light gets shut down. I remember when we were young, our parents would turn off lights around 9 o'clock and everybody is sleeping, fast asleep at 9:30. But now things have changed. Now, most people, the lights would not go off until 10:30, 11. People are watching TV. Then you're going to sleep late. If you're going to sleep late, the whole routine is messed up in the morning. So I realized that I need to be very vigilant of conditions for change. So in the evening, I try to slow down. And so I want, my goal is to sleep by 10 because I'm sleeping by 10, I can get up by 5. I require about 7 hours. So but if I am not able to sleep by 10, then my whole morning routine is gone. And if I miss my routine, then I begin to feel uneasy. I mean, I begin to feel guilty. Well, I missed my thing today, especially if it's 2 days in a row. I never want to miss 2 days in a row. I only miss one day. Like this morning, yesterday I missed my morning pranayama because I got delayed. Day before yesterday we slept late. Tomorrow morning I missed it. This morning again, last evening I could not go to sleep on time. This morning again there was a big hesitation on, should I continue to skip today? But then I remembered, no, I made a commitment to myself. I'll not skip 2 days in a row. So I forced myself, and I'm glad I did because I finished. This is morning here. I finished my pranayama, and even though I was a little sleepy, I'm feeling much better having done it. So I think if you can, so my nuance is I'm not going to skip 2 days in a row, and I push myself on the second day if I realize I missed yesterday, because if you keep missing 2 or 3 days in a row, then it becomes very difficult to bring it back. So this is one of the things I wanted to share. Don't miss more than a day. Push yourself to get back. Okay.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Lovely. Thank you.
One more thing I want to add. I was recently reading that the worldwide, the Gen Z, Gen Z people, the Gen Z thing, they have started to pick up a habit of going back to a 9 o'clock because sleeping in the world have been decided that the sleeping is in itself is a medicine. So if you don't catch up, if you don't sleep properly, you don't have a good sleep, you cannot perform the daily duty and you feel irritated, you're not there. So that is what happening in new generation, these things. Have a very good thing. They are trying to inculcate, which is happening. I've heard in the world news. I don't know people are doing it or not doing it, but it's a good thought. The good thought to go back 9 o'clock. I think that's very good.
Lovely, lovely. Anyone else? Yeah, Piyush, we can't hear you.
आपके साथ म्यूट है.
नहीं, mute नहीं है. We can't hear you.
अच्छा, okay.
Now you can hear?
Yeah, now you can. Now you can.
Okay. So one question I had was 24 hours, how many hours you sleep is one data point. Another is the time you sleep at night. Now, I know that there is something about hours of sleep. 10 p.m. to 4 a.m. is the best that I have heard. So I get up at
Yeah.
4:30. Sorry.
Yeah,
Go
sorry.
ahead. Go ahead. Piyush.
Carry on. Sorry.
Yeah. So my difficulty, so I get up at 4:30. I don't miss yoga and meditation. That has been there. It's not an habit I'm trying to build. What I do now, which is the change after I started attending this, is to come back and sleep. And sleep not just 10, 15 minutes. I sleep sometimes 1.5 hours, sometimes 2 hours. That is the change. Now I want to go back to 10 to 4. That is my drive, but I'm not missing out on sleep is one thing I'm doing. Just to share what I'm trying to compensate. So that
Lovely.
is one bit. Yeah. Just walking through. So I said yoga, meditation daily, it works. I'm thinking of the walking bit, which I do in addition. And here is what I am coming up with. Weekend for sure, because that day yoga doesn't happen. So I must plus 2 days. Now this is a modification to what I started out with. Honestly, I started out with every day. Now I'm saying 4 of 7. Just saying that for now. I'm thinking if there are 7 more weeks to go here, if I can make this happen next week, I will then increase it. Because what happens is you give, because you give up saying, okay, nahi ho raha hai. I would rather do something than that is a worse energy. So that is what I am with. I did have a couple of other items which have worked for me. One is taking one day fully off every week. I wasn't doing that before. That has worked completely.
Lovely.
Yeah. And the reflection, writing and reflection part, last week I started doing more of. So that is in progress. I would say maybe 70% of the time it is happening. But that is the 5 items I'm right now with. I don't want to add. I also don't want to subtract from this.
Beautiful. I think beautiful IIT-ness is coming through. Overachievement.
Is it?
Lovely.
I don't know what that means, but sure.
Yeah. So no, I'm just kidding. But the beauty, what you are able to do is you are very aware of what are the habits you have taken on, what has worked and what has not worked, and also questions on now that I've taken on this, what happened to that? Some other habit is coming up, like coming back and sleeping after the session. So the beautiful is as you are becoming aware of each one, now you can say, oh, do I want to sleep? How many hours I need to sleep? How do I make sure that this fits into my schedule? These are the questions you need to explore. Obviously, there are no right answers.
Yeah.
The place is not for answers that, oh, money's answer is the right answer. So there's no 1 + 1 is always 2, right? Here we are exploring our personal habits, and therefore we are going to look at what works for Piyush. And if you have any questions, obviously share it with us. And at this point of time, what I'm seeing is you're contemplative with, okay, what is happening is that sleeps are coming in at different time. And is that a good thing or something I need to change about it?
Yeah,
Is
that's a
where-
question I have in my mind. So 10 to 4 is something I read long back. I don't know
Lovely.
the scientific side of it. That's the
I will-
question.
I will share with my experience, and of course, other people might have. One is sleep is dependent on both the quality and quantity. So the deeper you sleep, if you're going to, for example, REM sleep, and sleep without having thinking about something in the thought. So I've seen days when I watch a interesting movie and then go to bed and I'll be thinking about it all throughout and dreaming through it. Then you'll feel less sleep, even though the quantity of sleep may be long. So the quality is more important. That's number one. Second thing is, how is your body? If your body has inertia, or what they call tamasic, then there are other requirements on number of amount of sleep that is required. If you're more sattvic, and it just types on the food that you intake, there are beautiful resources available. I'll share with you offline on that. Anyone else that you want to add or change or comment on your own habits? Yeah, go ahead, Anilji.
So, I think I was listening to all of you. This is the first time I've been able to join, unfortunately.
Welcome.
And the last time Dinesh was here, he asked us to identify things which we actually wanted to change. So
Right.
at that point of time, I'd put in three. One was, getting into some kind of strengthening exercises, because we were already doing these 10,000 steps. Then yoga and meditation. So, in the meanwhile, in spite of everything, I've, at least been able to be consistent with the strengthening part. I'm going to a gym with a personal trainer every day. So that's one satisfactory thing. But, thank you. But what actually I think is the first question which you put is, what's holding you back? Now, what's holding me back in respect of the other two, which I really wanted to catch on, is time. I think, for most of us, that is always and can always be a constraint. Like, in spite of all the efforts, like, I get up in the morning, do my walk for 5 to 6 kilometers, then go to the gym, obviously go to the office, come back. I can, in fact, I think I'll try and at least catch up with the meditation in the night. But yoga is something which I'm not sure, how can I actually fit into the entire scheme of things. In spite of all the motivation and commitment, as of now, I'm not been able to do that, but I really want to. So I thought, maybe somebody would have an idea as to where do I fit that in.
So do you do yoga on your own, or do you follow a video or some, live streaming? What do you do?
No, Dinesh, I have not actually been able to catch on with the habit of yoga as of now. Yoga, it's only walk and the gym part, the gym I've started recently. But yoga, I did for a long time back with a trainer. But then even now I've joined the person whom LMK had introduced online. But then the main thing is, I need to find that at least 35, 40 minutes of time and energy also.
Lovely.
So,
Let
so one suggestion I have, Anil, is that if you fix a time, like what I do, I get up around 4:50, my
Okay.
10 minutes before 5. And 5 o'clock, there is a live streaming. I mean, there is a pranayama and the Shri Yoga. They do it 5 to 8, 5 to 5:40 Pacific time. That would be evening time for you, roughly around 5:30 in the evening. So if you can fix a time, and I find if you're part of a community, that definitely helps, because what happens is you look forward, like imagine if all of us here begin to start doing yoga together, then I think there'll be an incentive for us coming, because we know each other now. And as we develop more bond, it becomes easier and easier. So I find that many times people don't want to do, but they'll show up anyway. And so if there's a live streaming, what happens is after a few minutes, you'll fully participate, and then before you realize, you are totally into it. So I would say the first choice would be that you pick a time, and if you don't have a live streaming, then I can send you a recording. And if you like, this pranayama is excellent. I love it. And
Okay.
it's about 40 minutes of pranayama, and you can start doing at a certain fixed time. Then
Okay.
your body will get used to it, and then you'll begin to miss it. If you miss it any day, then your body will demand it. So that's one technique you might consider. Okay, I'm
In fact,
fine.
last time
I-
I remember, to Rajesh Kasera's question, you had said that, you need to find a buddy. So,
Right.
so I think, the other two habits are happening because I have a buddy, somebody, reminding me that you've not come. So similarly here, I think you're right. I need to find someone or maybe, start following a live yoga or recording also. With someone, I think that'll be
If you
that'll be
can do it
better.
in the evening, you can do it in the evening. That'll be
Yeah.
lovely. 5:30 every evening in the
Yeah.
community. But if you cannot do it some other time, then I'll send you the recording.
Okay.
I have one more suggestion, but before
Yes,
we
sir.
go, I know we are at top of the hour, but do you have 5 minutes, or if you have to go, let me know. We can continue the recording, those who are. But what I want to make sure is that last week we talked about tips and tricks. Dinesh mentioned 2 minutes walking, right? Things like
Yeah.
that you can also adopt, where you can try something for 2 minutes at some point in time. So like for me, Surya Namaskar is one thing. I'll do one cycle of Surya Namaskar. It hardly takes 3 minutes, and then you can get it done. That's one way to start.
I think that's a
Yeah, but I want to hear from Ankitji. Do we have a couple of minutes for you, or do people have to go? Okay.
Yeah,
Couple of minutes is okay.
Yeah, Ankitji, please, I would love to hear from you.
so
And both of you.
last week we did everything, whatever we planned. So it was we are on the task. All the tasks were completed for us. So yeah, we feel happy about that. And anything you want to add?
The question was what has stopped us, but nothing has stopped us. But I can find the reason because of which we were able to do that. Firstly, we were doing it together. So if one buddy go today we will not do, then the other one says, okay, no, we have to do this thing. And the second thing was we planned to do the exercise for 30 minutes. So that 30 minutes we fixed in the morning. So what happens if we complete our task in the morning? So that day we feel positive. So just for that feeling motivates me. Okay, if you do this, then the whole day you will feel positive, and that will help you. So that motivates me personally. And the third thing was I have every time in mind on Friday we have to have in the chat, and we have to tell how many days we have done or not done. So I will not feel fine if I have not done so many days. So this thing also keeps me motivated, because I don't like to don't like to fulfill my job. Like I have that mindset from childhood. So I feel this thing as a kick for me. So complete your task, because you have decided yourself.
Beautiful. Peer pressure always works.
Yes.
So that's what one thing she told, that we feel accomplished when we complete the routine. Like, okay, we have done that. Tick mark, we get that. On a personal front also, I had an average of around 13,000 steps daily for the last week. What's the question?
Lovely. Wonderful, wonderful. Keep going, guys. Keep going. This is very happy to hear. Thank you for the extra few minutes today. I know those who want to stay back, who have challenges, please stay back. We can, like Anilji, if you want to stay back, we have a couple of more ideas we can discuss. But otherwise, there is one other way. Keep tracking. The easiest way is track your habits. That is number one. Once you track your habits, awareness will kick in. Once you have awareness, then you can see what works for you, what doesn't work for you, and you can naturally modify it to your own habits, right? The whole idea is to make it your own personal habit, and therefore it will work. There is no good or right answers, as you can all imagine. Keep going, and next week we'll catch up again at the same time. As I said, Anilji, if you want to stay back, we have a couple of more ideas for you.
And Ankit
Thanks,
ji,
Mani. Very comforting words. I look forward to your quality quantity, Steve.
Definitely, I'll send that over.
And Ankit,
Okay
keep
then.
singing.
Sorry.
Both of you keep singing. You sing very well, Ankit.
Oh, thank you.
So that we heard that I heard for the first time.
See, you have habits which you don't even know.
So, so those of you
Thanks.
who are leaving, have a lovely week. And those of you who are staying, I wanted to share with you that what this many doctors I have interviewed on some of the programs, they mentioned that if you are in aligned with the circadian cycle, so generally what I've heard is that between 10:30 to 2:30 a.m., those 4 hours are the most crucial. And in our current lifestyle, I think if you, we sometimes people sleep around midnight, and that's where I think you begin to feel. So if we try to align with 10:30 to 2:30, that means 10 o'clock if you're sleeping, and if you get up anytime after 3. And of course, there is no fixed time. People take different times. Some people take 6 hours and they're okay. And some take 7 and some take 8. Generally, 8 hours is the upper limit. I have not seen people taking more than 8. But I think you need to feel, when do you feel totally rested? That is the key.
So
When you
I have
feel-
one take out. Can I speak?
Yeah,
Yeah,
please
please.
go for it.
See, one thing is very clear that the sleeping pattern is different for each person. Some people might get a quality sleep within a 4 hours. Some people get a 3 hours. It's depending on person to person. One thing I've realized is that if you have a nap during the daytime, okay, about a half an hour, even a 45 minutes, that is so enriching then compared to the sleep when you wake up in the morning. Why is it so?
Good
Tell me,
question.
Mamaji, why is it so? Why
Yeah,
is it
so
so? It's
Well,
very, very intoxicating, and it completely you sometimes you're so sleep, you want to wake up, but you're not able to wake up because you're completely into the sleep. I've, and that kind of sleep I have never generally I don't feel in the morning when I wake up. Why is it so?
well, so my take on that is that when the less you worry, the more gratitude you live in, the more joyful you live in, the more present you are, your sleep pattern will get better. Now, how do we live in the joyful moment? Because there are challenges all around. There are worries. There is financial worry. There is health worry. All kinds of problems are there. Relationship issues, right? So I have found, I call it the poor me versus lucky me technique. And I think it works very well for me. And I've suggested to a few people. So poor me, you can write down all the bad things which are happening in your life. You know, you are angry with your boss, your manager, or you have a problem with somebody at work, or some family member, your bhabi or your nanad or your sas or your bahu, whoever is not treating you properly. I mean, there are enough reasons for us to be upset. Okay, then you write down lucky me, and lucky me, the first thing you write down is that I'm alive, because you'll not like always remember 300,000 people did not wake up this morning around the globe. I was the lucky one that I woke up. Then I look around, there are people who are going to get bad news today. They're going to find out they have cancer, or they're going to find out they have all kinds of problems, and I'm lucky I don't have that problem. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling energy. Then I'm lucky if I have a family member with me, then they're also doing good. And both of us are here. We can chat. We can enjoy this day to the fullest. So at least I have this day in my life to enjoy fully. By the time I go through this list of how lucky I am, I forget about all the poor me part and I begin to feel good. And once you're beginning to feel good, you come back in the flow. You come back in the present moment. So the most important goal of my life is to remain present, because there is nothing better gift we can offer to each other than be present for each other. And it's something which you experience. You can't really explain it to people that are you present now? But when you are present, you know it. You feel very aligned with yourself. You feel very in the moment. And you hear about these things. आने वाला पल जाने वाला है, हो सके तो इस पल में जिंदगी बिता दे, पल जो ये जाने वाला है. What are they trying to say? All poets are saying is that if you can learn to live in the present moment, in this moment, which is so precious, then your whole day will go well. And I find that your quality of sleep improves right away. So notice that the day you are feeling good, you sleep also well. And the day you are worried all the time, your sleep patterns impacted. So if you want to sleep well, most important thing is to learn to live in the present moment. I'm complete.
One more thing, Mamaji. I want to also experience, I'll give you the one of the experience, take out of my life. I've realized that when we work, we have a lot of jingles in life, you know, a personal life, job life, and all that. When I didn't have a job for 6 months, I tell you, initially I had a problem, financial problem. Kaise hoga, kya nahi hoga. And after 1 month, 2 months time, I was very relaxed, and I started meditating, and I was very good. And I'm telling you, this is my insight. जितना मैं खुश और जितना tranquil, जितना शांत उस time पे था ना, वो कभी नहीं था मैं.
Beautiful.
कभी नहीं
Prashant
था
ji,
मेरा.
this is what we call another technique called reframing. We talked about it last time. You look at the half glass, we can look at it as half empty or half full, right?
No, I mean, I just want to tell you one that everybody knows about it. There's something in life when you experience yourself, then you realize it. Everybody knows it, but people don't experience it. So then I started realizing myself. Then I had a 6 month, I didn't have a job. So I tell you why this happened, all this happened. I read so many spiritually completely. मैंने पूरी रामायण वो गीता पढ़ डाली है. Then I've read many things. And I've realized this thing, Mani, believe me, that there is a book, there is a newspaper comes like spiritual, speaking tree article. I was reading everything, everybody was talking same thing. And they don't have more than a point के आगे कुछ है ही नहीं उनके पास. They are just repeating thing again and again. तो life का जो सच है वो सच है. तो वो I was reading, ठीक सब बातें घुमा बुला के कोई कैसे कर रहे, पर this process and the thing is same. वो मुझे बड़ा अच्छा लगा.
Lovely. Dinesh, can I stop the recording or do you want to continue it?
No, we can stop unless you want to show something. Anything
No,
you
that's
can-
about it. That's about it.
Okay.
We can.
So I need
I
to
will-
leave now.
yeah.
Thank you.
So
Thank
let's
you.
stop.
Bye.
See you next week.
All right.
Anilji,
Next
Anilji,
Friday.
I have one comment.
Right.
Piyush, I'll send you
Yeah.
the details for the sleep.